So in today's episode, I thought it fitting that we take a letter that I've already written as a thank you to Mr. Ben Schaeffer and use it to demonstrate folding an 18th century letter, another folding video. This one will be using the letter of Henry Laurens from South Carolina from the year 1762. So we'll use this letter as an example to learn how to fold the letter that I'm going to write out and finish up today. Henry Laurens was both born and died in Charleston, South Carolina, and he was a merchant and a planter, and also succeeded John Hancock as president of the Continental Congress. Greetings once again from David here at Pumpkintown Primitives. I just would like to give a quick shout out thank you to Mr. Benjamin Schaeffer from Charlestown, who sent me this beautiful letter lately. Thanks, Ben. Would also like to give a shout out to our friend Sunshino up in Ohio, who actually wrote this letter from Florida. And she also included this beautiful block print scarf that she made for me. And I cannot wait to wear it to an event in person. That's right. So thank you, Sunshino, for the scarf and for the letter, and Ben for the letter. Shout out to my two friends. Okay, so this letter is from the year 1762. It's in the South Carolina State Archives. And I have included a link for this letter in the description below. It's on my Facebook page where I've posted this here. So if you can just take that link and print it off at an 8.5 by 11 size roughly. You'll have to take and trim the white off of the edge. But then you basically start with the shape of the letter that we're going to start with. So if you'd like to pause the video, go look for that link and print it off, trim off the white, and come back to the screen, and we will start with this letter here. So if you don't have the ability to print this off, no worries. You can still enjoy watching this tutorial of how to fold a letter, an example from 1762. So I really enjoy taking original letters and using them to figure out how they folded those letters, because in the archives they will scan these letters flat and every crease mark will show up generally in the facsimile. So if we can take this one here, we can start by folding this line and this line here. So I just take it and I'll find the crease mark there, and I'll fold it about right there. And then on the other side, you can see the crease line down this way. So following that is my example. I'll crease it there. And what that does is that leaves us a center portion to work from. And as you can see, they do overlap about a 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch right there. So with that being said, then we can start from this section here and folding up. So right there you can see the crease mark. So I'll use that crease mark to be my crease mark. And now it's starting to look like a letter, as you can see, because the seal or the wafer has shown up in its proper position. And then lastly, when we go to fold it down, we can retain that same crease mark there, and the actual seal or wafer is retained in its exact spot. And then lastly, we can go to tuck it in. So I'll wait until my finished letter to show you how I tuck it in, but that is as simple as that. So with my letter to Mr. Schaeffer, I'll do roughly the same thing. I'll take the two side wings and I'll overlap them, such as we saw from Mr. Laurens's example, and I'll overlap it about a 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, and then I'll just loosely crease it just like this, like that. And I'll go on in and commit to it a little bit more, just like that. So then I'll take my bone folder that I use, and we have these on the website, by the way. I'll leave a link for them in the description below. And I'll go ahead and crease crease these lines a little bit more firmly, like so. And at that point, I'll take the middle section here that we folded up, and I'll do like Mr. Lawrence's letter here, and I'll fold up to within about 1 inch to 1.25 inches from the top, somewhere in the neighborhood of this vicinity here. And I'll go ahead with my folder and crease that over like that. Okay, so at this point I'll go ahead and fold the top portion down about there, just making sure that it touches the other portion so it's nice and tidy. And then I'll come in with the bone folder and commit to those lines as well. Now comes the fun part. Now when I say fun part, I say that sort of tongue-in-cheek because it's the most difficult part of any letter is to tuck it in. So, but you just want to open up this section here, and then you want to kind of take this section of the letter and bend it like that. And if you can just get one side to go ahead and tuck in like this, then you can try to work the other side in like that. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's less than easy, but it usually works like that. So now we have a nice tidy little packet, and I'll go back with the bone folder and crease those lines once more. There we go. And now I'm ready to do the address or the direction on the letter there. Okay, so using my Henry Lawrence letter up top as a creative example, I'll begin the process of lettering. So I'm going to do just like Mr. Lawrence did and write 2 at the top. Just like that. And come back like that. And I'll add a little thickness to the 2 to make it look a little more attractive. Like that. So then the Mr. Trying to somewhat look like Mr. Lawrence's Mr. Very loosely. After I get started, I write pretty quickly. Okay, there we go. Also, we have these quills on our online store. They're $10 each. They're cut by a professional quill cutter, and I have found them to be absolutely indispensable for this type of work. Now, even though the Henry Lawrence example we're using today did not have the postmarks on it like this, I have seen others of his that do. By the way, here is one of them there. So I can't help myself. I have these stamps laying around, and I feel as if I would be neglecting my duty to spice it up a bit. We don't want to neglect our duties, do we? So today is the 15th of March. So I'm going to presume that this letter would make it to Charlestown in about 3 or 4 days. So there is the bishop mark, and I will also demarcate this with the proper march. We got the M and the R. As you can see, I don't ever go full blast with the ink. I always stamp it 2 times before I commit to it, so that it looks a little faded. So I'm going to date this particular example here, since the day is the 15th. I'm going to presume that the letter makes it into Charlestown by around the 19th. So there, like that. I always kind of breathe on my seal just to moisten it a little bit. It seems like it helps for a better transfer. Check out our online store for a full line of the writing accoutrements you'll need. We have the laid paper that you can use. We have sealing wax. We have ink. We have quills. We have books on the proper way to write. So go check that out in the description below. So as you can see, here's my example that we've created today from Henry Lauren, 1762. And we folded it in the same manner that he folded his. I kept it basically plain on the front and added all my interest marks on the back with the bishop mark and the seal. And it was received in Charlestown, which did have a postmark that looked almost identical to that. So if you like this video, please subscribe, and please also like and comment. If you'd like to see other videos of this nature, please also do the same. And I thank you for your interest, and we'll keep hopefully producing more letter writing videos such as this, so stay tuned.